Online advice for men is an absolute minefield. Seriously, try looking up just general tips and you'll get 40 different things you should never do. Comprehensive responses on why that's absolutely not true. Alpha men screaming in your ear about what you gotta do to attract the senior readers. Dedicated YouTube videos on how to sit on a chair. All advice, of course, grounded in a hefty dose of gender stereotypes and cliches, but maybe that just comes with the territory of looking up anything specifically for men. But some of the advice is just so outrageously extreme that I could not help but share it with you and just go over it a little bit. Welcome to Twitter, or whatever you want to call it. I apologize, this is not my preferred spot to welcome my guests. Twitter has changed a lot over the years, but one of the biggest changes is the threadification of Twitter, where now people get paid for their engagement or views on their tweets. Everyone is trying their desperately hardest to convince everyone else that their thread offers some kind of value to the viewer. So you end up with a lot of, like, I found a YouTube channel where a guy interviews millionaires over 60. Here's the important lessons I learned. A thread, which I guess is interesting. But you also get, here are 40 things a man should never wear. The issue with getting paid for engagement on Twitter is that you end up with these win-win scenarios for a very certain kind of poster, where either, and this is the more unlikely scenario, they're offering something of value, or, and more likely, if their opinion is terrible, well, that just encourages people to engage with it. So often you end up with a race to the worst opinions imaginable, and here's 40 of them. I'm not going to go over every single one, but let's have a look at a couple. Here are 40 things a man should never wear. Number 1, flip-flops, unless you're near a pool or beach. I don't know if you can tell by my accent that I stand with an entire nation of scary-looking blokes who probably have some particularly Australian words to share about that opinion. To be fair, you know how in Japan they say that you're always like however many steps away from a vending machine? In Australia, it's the same with pools or beaches. So maybe that's our angle. But I think in general, the Australian angle is probably something more like, you, it's 40 degrees, I'm wearing my bloody thongs. Number 3, statement socks. They don't give you personality or style. I get that they're no replacement for personality or style, but if you have such a lack of joy in your life that you would shame someone for wearing a fun sock, I think it's far more of a reflection of your own personality. Number 4, cargo shorts. I don't own cargo shorts. I have never owned cargo shorts. I don't know how many times I need to tell people that I don't wear cargo shorts. I realize that by denying every time that I don't wear cargo shorts, I'm only perpetuating the meme, and it only encourages people to, for whatever reason, tell me that I wear cargo shorts. No further questions. Number 5, turtlenecks. And excuse the imagery, circumcise that sweater. Yeah, sure, don't wear turtlenecks. You should absolutely not wear turtlenecks if you don't want to be the classiest guy in the room. Number 6, the guilt of your ancestors' sins. A little bit of humor to spice things up. This will be referenced later. Number 9, jewelry. Other than watches and wedding rings, the only thing more disappointing for a woman than seeing a desirable man with a wedding band on is seeing a ring on any other finger. Look, I don't want to speak for all women, but I feel like I can probably speak for all women when I say I don't think they give a damn if you have a ring on another finger. Number 13, fashion watches. Chanel, Hermes. Is it Hermes?
Hermes.
What? Ain't no way.
It's Hermes. Now pronounce that correctly.
Hermes.
Hermes. Gucci and even Cartier. Watches is an absolutely massive topic. And I don't want to seem snobby when I say this, because I'll be clear, I do not care at all what people wear or how they choose to present themselves. But we've had 2 in a row mentions of watches and jewelry in a fashion thread. We've been told we can't wear rings, and now which watches to not wear. But we haven't even mentioned smartwatches. And I mean this in the least judgmental way possible. I own smartwatches, but we're not saying, hey, smartwatches look a little funny in certain situations. I feel like we've got our priorities wrong. This is such a tangent for me. And again, I don't really care, but I can't help but feel like you don't need your Apple Watch Ultra 2 on your wrist in your wedding photos. You know, like, is it imperative that your Fitbit is tracking your heart rate at a funeral? I understand these things have utility, but if we're talking presentation, it feels like we've turned a blind eye to the smartphone strapped to our wrists in the same situations you would go out and buy new dress shoes for. I guess I'm just saying that in the same situations where we would put effort into how we present, being teched up feels counterproductive. And Cartier being mentioned here is a joke. But it seems that you can't have a bad fashion take on Twitter without the Derek guy chiming in. This list is terrible. When people say to men you should never wear a particular item of clothing, their view is often shaped by fear and prejudice. It's also often an issue of them not knowing how to style something. I will run through some examples on the list. He then proceeds to include like so many examples of guys pulling off the things that old mate said you shouldn't wear. So the original poster responds, Derek, you're one of my favorite accounts on Twitter, but I think there is a fundamental difference between the theoretical and the practical. Your exhaustive knowledge and intellectualization of fashion to the border of pretentiousness is not realistic for most men. It's not a playbook for them. He's pretty much saying the average guy is going to get it wrong. Derek replies, it seems like you have a dim view of your followers, whereas I have a high view of the people who follow me. I think men are more than capable of learning the very basic ideas about dress and building up the courage to look rad. Right. Like if someone who knows what they're talking about chimes in and says, no, you don't have to never wear these things. Just be mindful of certain basics like sizing or fit or what else you're wearing it with. Then the guy responds, respectfully, I do not think you understand the nuance of my writing style, blending satire, humor, and sincere advice. Got him. It's like he's trying to do the intellectual version of, it's just a prank, bro. Like, sure, there's some real advice in there, but if you don't get it, it's because I was joking. And I just don't think you understand my humor. When I said the guilt of your ancestors' sins, that wasn't real fashion advice. Yeah, dingus. But anyway, I thought we'd duck over YouTube to see what the opinions are over there for what we, as men, should or should not be wearing.
What's up, gentlemen? So real quick, little disclaimer before we get started. If you're the dude that's about to leave the comment, it doesn't matter what girls think, you should wear what you want, this video isn't for you. Get out of here, but before you go, drop me one of these. Continue dressing like crap, but
bro's negging his audience for viewer retention. I think this probably does such a perfect job of capturing the exact target audience that this video is looking for. I think it matters what girls think. I probably shouldn't wear what I want. I'm not a lame dude who wants to dress like crap.
actually have developed is the ultimate, not average, ultimate guide to dressing to impress women. There are 8 steps that if you follow them, you will always be the best dressed guy in the room. And those spicy senoritas going to be like, damn, he's sexy. This guide is literally like bulletproof, regardless of your style, personal preference. If you follow these steps, guys, game over, you win. Sex machine level 27. Starting with number 1. And
literally bulletproof is quite the claim. All you have to do is listen to me. Because I mean, come on, look at me. Do exactly as I do. And it is game over for the spicy senoritas. Women are like the YouTube algorithm. Hard to figure out. But Alpha Love Guru Mr. Beastie has cracked the code. A couple tech tips and that's all it takes. Sex machine level 27. Which I guess is high. Or he says it with enough authority that makes me think level 27 must be high in the sex machine world. But I can't help but feel like it can't be that high. I thought maybe it was a reference to something, and now I have Sex Machine level 27 in my search history forever. And I'm here to confirm it's not a reference. If anything, it's a product. I won't elaborate. Let's move on.
choose clothing that fits you and your body properly. We talk all about fit. Now, a lot of guys are like, yo, I'm wearing the right size. Size is just part of the equation. You got to make sure that the clothing that you're wearing accentuates your positive attributes and minimizes your perceived negative. If you're short, if you're a little bit round, if you're a little bit chubby, if you're super extra tall and super skinny, you want to make sure you are accentuating the positives and minimizing the negatives. Number 3 is kiss.
Okay, all right. I suppose we're not going to go into how to actually do that. Bro literally said, wear clothes that suit you and moved on. I guess it kind of is bulletproof when it's literally just, yeah, wear clothes that look good on you.
Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. When it comes to your outfits, the guys that really do an incredible job and look the best typically have more minimal outfits. They're not too complicated. They're not too flamboyant. They're not too bright. They're not too loud, right? Step number 5 is smell better than other guys. Guys that smell better are perceived as sexier, more attractive, more approachable, and did I mention sexier? I just got a little Creed Aventus. Did you know that Scentbird actually has Creed Aventus? Anyway, guys, one of the things that I just want to talk about real quick is the fact that Scentbird is
one of the critical bulletproof steps to attracting the ladies is a well-timed sponsor plug. You know, this just worked out by pure chance. The sponsored product is the secret to all of this.
first being good. Also got, damn, what is gonna put? The cool haven't tried. They get to try, but right now, like 5% off. I'm telling you, gentlemen, if you want to smell sexy and amazing, I'm kidding. I'm not convincing. Shoes.
Oh, jeez. That was 2.5 minutes in an 8.5 minute long video.
You can make or break an outfit based solely on your shoes. I've seen so many dudes, right?
Good one.
They look amazing. Their hair is incredible. They're coiffed, they're sexy, their style, killer. Their clothing fits them. But then you get down to the shoes and you're like, what are those? What are those? If they're dirty, if they're bulky, if they're unstylish.
That is not where the meme is from.
They're not real leather and they look super cheap. Gentlemen, spend a little bit more money. Buy the highest quality pair of shoes that you can afford. Don't overspend, but if you need to stretch a little bit to buy a higher quality pair, gentlemen, do it.
Do it! Spend the money! Look at your bank account. Write that number down. Now call your bank and see how much they let you overdraw. Add a couple $100. Spend that much on shoes. Bulletproof. I'm telling you.
If they're too dramatic, whether or not it's pointy, if it's bulky, if it's square, if it's high, like in terms of the heel or the sole, typically this is not going to be ideal. You want to go with something a little bit more subtle, a little bit more stylish, a little bit more minimal.
Spend the most amount of money you can on the most boring shoes you can find. Got it.
Is don't dress like every single one of your friends. Unfortunately, a lot of dudes get into the habit of dressing exactly like the people they're around. You, unfortunately, are not maximizing your sex appeal. You don't get to stand out. You don't get to set yourself apart. And you don't get to be the best dressed guy in the room because everybody dresses the same. Unfortunately, this is a big problem.
We just spent like the whole video saying don't stand out. Buy the basic stuff. Buy the most minimal clothes you can find. Don't buy shoes that draw attention to themselves. Oh, but you're gonna want to stand out.
I don't feel comfortable, dressing differently, when the truth is that when you actually do dress a little bit differently than all your friends, it's going to set you apart. You're going to be more confident, and your friends are probably going to start copying you. The next tip is...
There were no friends in those photos. It's pretty easy to not be wearing the same thing as your friends when there are no friends. I'm not saying you have no friends. I'm not trying to do a sick burn, but you kind of just did it yourself. You got to stand out from your friends, dude. You got to look like an individual. Don't be wearing the exact same thing as your friends next to you. Here's some photos of me standing on my own in the mirror. That one's too real.
It is amazing what happens when you actually spend a few extra dollars to have clothing tailored. Spending a little bit of extra money in order to ensure that it fits like crazy perfect is a great way to spend a little bit of money. All right, now.
Spending a little bit of money to make sure your clothes fit crazy perfect is a great way to spend a little bit of money. Got it. I mean, sure, tailored clothes are probably going to look better on you than ones that aren't. That feels pretty straightforward.
Confidence. If you put something on, it doesn't matter what. If you put it on, you look in the mirror and you're like, or you don't love it, or you don't feel confident, or like you know that it looks good, get it off your body. One of the things that I love so much.
Push him away. Yeah, it's not working for you, hon. Get out of here. Next one.
It's not only just about the way that it makes you look, it's the way that it makes you feel about yourself. It's almost like confidence from the outside in. What happens? Seriously, what happens when you put on something, you look in the mirror and you're like, damn, I look good, right? Or you put something on, you get a compliment.
Again, it feels like the advice here for how to dress more attractively is to wear clothes that are attractive. We got some broader tips. Wear clothes that fit. Don't be too different, but also don't be the same as the people next to you. And, make sure the clothes are good. It feels a little bit like bro's just yapping. I'm not sure what I've learned.
If you follow this plan, it literally is bulletproof. You always will look incredible, and those spicy senoritas will be drawn to you like a spicy moth to a flame. You happen to be a sexy, stylish flame because you're so damn hot.
Oh, all right. All you have to do is listen to this man. He knows women. Here I thought maybe it'd be a better idea to maybe not call a woman a moth. Like they might prefer you don't refer to them as a moth that's attracted to a flame. And that flame is you, baby. You're a sexy, stylish flame that is so damn hot. But what do I know? I don't have an alpha male channel where I talk to dudes all day about how to be dudely and do dude things. So after we figured out how to objectify women in a video about how to dress attractively, we need to know how to enter a room or sit or stand even. Body language tricks.
70% of your communication is nonverbal, meaning how you move says a lot more than what you use with your mouth. This is why, as a man, these 7 body language tricks every guy should know.
As a man, it is imperative that you understand body language, because I suppose women are born with that skill. Men have to be taught it by a bloke on YouTube.
How you enter the room. Let me show you. So many guys, this is the room, right? You got a crowd. Imagine there's a lot of people here. They'll walk in, immediately go to a corner where they feel comfortable. They put their back against the wall. Shoot, you can't even see me because that's what most of you dudes do. Your back's against the wall. That's you. That's you. Nah, bro. No, absolutely not. We're going to do it again, right?
All right. Show me.
You walk in, head high, shoulders back, you're looking, you're smiling, hello, hello. You're making contact. You don't have to do the arm thing. What I'm saying is you're making eye contact with people in the room, you're smiling, and you go into the heat of it all.
Walk in room, make eye contact, shake hand, kiss baby, flail arms, command attention, no matter the situation. This is definitely good advice in every single circumstance. You must make it clear that you are insecure about your presence in a room, and you absolutely need everyone to know that you have indeed entered it.
Center, right? You're making that eye contact. You can go up and start greeting people. If it's a networking event, you can introduce yourself, who you are, what you do.
You telling me I can greet people and introduce myself as long as it's a networking event?
Blah, 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 blah. If it's a friend of a friend group, you can introduce yourself, especially like weddings, this happens a lot. Oh, whose side are you on? And then you start to talk about what you guys do. Look, the point is, when you go into a room, you walk with confidence. What takes you to number 2.
Okay, I've got it. You walk into a room with confidence, and if it's a networking event or a wedding, you can introduce yourself. Bada bing, bada boom. Hey, where are you from? What side of the family are you on? I'm your brother. Right, what side of the family are you on?
You sit and how you stand. You can tell a lot about a man when it comes to this. Take the space you need. Your power stance is shoulder width apart. We know this in weightlifting, right? Because that's where you're strongest. That's where you're planted, right?
Hey!
You got that good base. Nobody's going to push you
Yes!
over. Visually, that's what you want to see. You look powerful. You look dominant. If you need to man spread a little bit, it's okay to man spread and claim the space that you need. Obviously, do keep in mind if it's a crowded room.
It's not.
Eye contact. Number 3, powerful. Powerful. In every conversation, male or female, I don't care, you keep that eye contact. I do it when I'm talking to you with videos. Like I'll look to the side, I'll think a little bit, usually horizontally, right? I'll never look down, and then back to you. You can do this with conversation as well. And if you're just getting, you saw I just did it there without me even thinking about it. Because most of the time, you're not going to be locked in 100% of the time, right? You're comfortable, but you're looking the person in the eye. And a good trick to do, put on the sunglasses. And it is a body language hack, especially if they're shades. If they're shades, you're adding an air of mystery to your aesthetic.
Huh? Always wear your sunglasses. Day, night, indoors, outdoors. It creates mystery. Never let them see your soul window. But most importantly, remember, eye contact. The way he seamlessly transitioned. Eye contact is like the most important thing. Here's a good tip for that. Wear sunglasses. That'll do it. I don't know if this guy knows that just because he can see their eyes doesn't mean they can see his. I know. I've got beautiful eyes. They command attention.
You know what? I'm going to hook it up for you. If you guys go to Jade Black, which is our brand, our stuff uses Italian handmade acetate. Some of the best.
Right. He tried to make a casual transition. I guess because he was talking about eyes. Yeah, I think we can fit the sunglasses thing in here. He just didn't realize that the thing that you were saying about eyes is that it's important that people see them. I don't know. Now I'm conflicted. Am I supposed to keep these 6 shades on that give me an air of manly mystery? Or am I supposed to be making eye contact, staring you down? Maybe I gotta be doing this one. All right.
4, use open hand gestures. I do this a lot when I talk as well. See, for example, the modern handshake that we know today, that was developed so you could enlist trust in the other person so they could see you're not hiding any weaponry. That is why
we do it today. See, when the handshake was developed, when they were cooking up the handshake in the lab, it was so that they could tell that there was no weapon. And that is just as important today. When you're at that wedding, introducing yourself, make sure they know. No weapons. These glasses kind of pinching my nose. I don't know. Is this adding to it? Is this a cheeky bonus?
Also, don't feel comfortable when you see people with their hands in their pockets or hands in their hoodies because you don't know what they could potentially be hiding. Yo, that happened to me. A guy actually pulled out a gun on me. He was wearing a hoodie and lo and behold, he came with his hands in his pocket like this and out of there, he pulled a Glock. The point is, you never know what people are hiding.
What? Okay, hold on. Let me just process a little bit. I think I'm following. Use hand gestures to make sure people don't think I have a gun in my pocket. Although, now I've got the idea in my head of having a gun in my pocket, and I'm kind of thinking people are going to think I'm a badass, so I think I'm just going to keep a gun in my pocket. Absolutely insane anecdotal justification for this one. Initial board review is maybe slightly excessive for the point being made, but we appreciate the energy.
When you're exposing your palms or using open hand language, you're adding trustworthiness. And that makes you more likable. 5, pause. Literally, in the middle of a conversation, it doesn't matter what you're doing, pause. It can, bro, this works at any time. Romantically, for a comedic effect, for a dramatic effect, use the pause.
No, he's got a point with this one. This one's a good one. I'm gonna use that one. Pause. It's that simple.
Raise your chin up, expose your left side. This is key. See, what this does is scientifically proven, shows off the best facial side that you have, but it also makes you look more confident. Chin's almost pointing outwards. This is where you're at almost all the time. You look taller, you look more dominant, you look more confident, and it gives you that jawline definition, which is gonna make you look better.
Okay, we're getting a little bit deep into the placebo sauce, where if we're saying that exposing the left side of your face makes you look more confident, sure, if you believe that to be true, then naturally you'll be more confident in that situation. Unfortunately, that's only 50% of situations. Unless you're talking to people like this and making sure people only see your left side, but I don't know. I guess I feel pretty dang confident. No, but honestly, if you're constantly just only trying to show your left side, that doesn't make you come across as confident. It makes you come across as insecure. And now I want to know what's wrong with the other side of your face. I think that means we're all squared up with our knowledge now. We know everything we need to know. How to be manly, super duper manly, with eye contact and pauses and stuff. I'm getting abs just thinking about using these tricks. Just like how Shrek had abs. In the weird Shrek ripoff that I talked about in my last video, definitely the most uncomfortable I've been in a video in a long time. You can watch it here.
Shoes.